Good morning. Happy July 2nd. My microphone working? Yes, it is. Good. Hey, Lily, come up here. Come here, baby. Come here. All the way up. Nope, come up here. This is my third daughter. She's 13 today. Yeah, she listens as well as the other two. She came. Hey, Lily, come up here. Come here. You can walk under the table. Come here.
Give her kisses. Then she'll come.
Yeah. She's not coming up. Anyway, it is July 2nd. We are halfway through the year now. Wow. Right? Crazy stuff. If everybody's online, let's go to the agenda because I got some opening statements to make. Cool. I do this meditation class on Mondays at noon, and he gives us a quote every day. And the quote yesterday was, "Stop holding yourself accountable to rules that don't exist." Ooh, think about that for a second. How many rules do we have that we made up that don't really exist in reality? Many, many rules. Stop. This is the idea of today's enlightened perspective is stop holding yourself accountable to rules that don't exist. What are some rules that don't exist? No soliciting is a good rule that doesn't exist. Because are you soliciting? No, you're offering value. Yeah, that's a great belief to have. So that's a good rule to have. So just let that one ponder in your head today.
I think there's a second part to that. Is stop holding other people accountable to rules that they didn't know existed.
Oh, yeah.
You try to hold other people to your rules and they had no idea that rule existed. You're holding a buyer accountable to a specific rule that you have and they have no idea that that rule exists. Yet you're holding them accountable to it. Same thing with sellers, same thing with spouses, same thing with kids. You hold other people to your rules and they have no idea that that rule even existed.
Because you made it up. Interesting. Peaceful perspective. Thank you, Chris. Miss Megan, it's end of the month. Now you're doing month out closeout. So what's going on with you?
Good morning. Yeah, we are staying busy this week. The first felt like the end of the month yesterday, so that was great. Just a reminder that India is out starting tomorrow. We are closed on the 4th of July, but she is out tomorrow all the way through Friday. So she'll be back on Monday. If you need anything, let me know. We will not have nobody will be in Sun City like she is right now. So if you need anything, I'll be in Apollo Beach. I'm here to answer all your questions. And then I also wanted to announce our class for next week. We're going to have Cindy with the Stopples. She did a training for us last April. A lot has changed since that last training. So we are going to have Cindy back on revamping the Estoppel training and getting that out to you guys. Estoppels is so important, and I want all the agents to understand too what all goes on that end and why it takes so long for it to come back and what we look at and what they look at. We order Estoppels based off the closing date. So if your contract says on or before August 4th, we are going to go off of August 4th to order all of your searches and your Estoppel, your title search. Everything is being based off of August 4th. So if you guys are trying to move up the closing a month or 2 weeks, please make sure title is the first one to know, even before the addendum's prepared, so we can let those parties know and our departments know that we may have to rush these things because they wait for third parties too. So things do take time, and we have to, Cindy's going to go over why it's important that we know that the closing's moving up, or when there's violations or delinquent balances and all that good stuff.
Wow. Isn't it interesting how everything integrates? Right? You have to understand the title side and the real estate side to make the transaction come together. And you guys are doing a really good job of that. Megan, I got some really nice compliments from you yesterday. I talked to a lot of people yesterday, but you were just amazing pulling everything together. It was it was a pre-occupancy situation. And you guys just went to the mat with the attorneys and everything else, getting it all together. So you got a heck of a resource right here. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Absolutely.
Happy post-closing Tuesday.
Yes. I feel bad for our post-closing department this week.
Cool.
You guys have a great week, and I will see you on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're in the middle of building a new normal. This is my new thing, right? It's a new normal now. And I wrote down inflation is coming down. I get an economic report every morning and it shows me what's happening. And inflation is coming down. It's not down to the 2% the government wants, but it's coming down. Interest rates are leveling. I spelled leveling wrong on that slide, so sorry about that. They're leveling. They're not going down. They're not going up. They're leveling. And where are they leveling, Chris? Around 6.75 right now?
Yeah, rates right now, you're gonna get anywhere between 6.5 and 7 for the most part. For FHA
Sorry, got it.
conventional, you're gonna be in that range. Most lenders have opportunities for buy downs to get those rates even lower, so some are even quoting rates lower than that.
Okay, and Jeanette proved me wrong on this morning, but houses are staying on the market longer. Jeanette just got back from Puerto Rico for 2 months and had 2 sales while she was gone. One listing came on and went over asking price in a couple days with no closing costs. Another offer came in below asking price with closing costs. So what causes that? I don't know, right? It is what it is. Somebody was more motivated than somebody else. But houses are typically staying on the market longer, which means we have to be more attentive. Sellers are getting offers. We're not used to having offers, right? We're used to full price, over asking price, quick close, cash, ready to go. Now we're getting offers. We talked about that yesterday with real estate. And then buyers are getting concessions. So don't be afraid to ask. Kalani talked that story yesterday. Those buyers had the gall to make a $1.3 million offer on a $1.6 million house. But they put it together, right? So buyers are getting concessions. So it's okay. This is just normal. Now we have to compete for listings, defend our value, show up better, promise advanced marketing and advertising solutions, right? That's what Zillow tokens are about. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then plan to market and service customers longer, right? This is my crystal ball looking out into the future. This is where we're headed right now, right? Are you seeing this? Yes, your market has changed. There's a lot more inventory in Mirror Bay right now, and your listings are staying on the market longer, and you have to appease these customers who are expecting what happened 6 months ago or a year ago, and they're not used to it, right? So to that point, we need to charge more because we do more, and this is my biggest fear. In August, next month, we're going to see a change from the National Association of Realtors settlement, and we're going to do our best to hold the line and talk about charging buyer agent commissions for 3%. But I'm afraid that our competitors are going to say, oh, I will do it for $1,000. And if that happens, you have to really, 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 really deliver value to justify what we do, or our world's going to change. I participated in a study last week with T360, which is a big study group. And they were saying that even a 0.5% reduction in commission is going to drive companies out of business because we're already running on tight margins right now, right? So if our commissions drop from 2%, 2.6% to 2%, history, right? So we can't let that happen. So we have to really get good at delivering value. And we have all the tools we need to do that. And we're working on some really cool stuff in the background to make that happen. So to that end, I want to talk about things we have to do different. So if you have that microphone for Jackie, having tough conversations, right? We have to get really, really good at this because sometimes sellers need to hear the truth and it's hard. And Jackie, you just went through a situation with a house on Lake Sunrise that start telling the story.
Okay, so when I listed it, it was December 26th, actually. And I went in there.
I'm not seeing the light. Okay.
It had a great view. And so the owner said, well, somebody's going to pay more for this view than somebody else. They're going to walk in, they're going to see this view, and they're going to buy this house and pay way more than what you're telling us. So I told them what I thought that the house should be priced at, and they wanted it priced at $1,075,000, which is 2,000 square feet. And even though it was redone and it was absolutely gorgeous inside, no pool, 2,000 square feet, $1,075,000.
That was $500 a foot. This market is not,
Yeah.
This market is not at $500 a foot.
No, and so it sat there and we got a couple of showings. So then we had a conversation And it was like death by 1,000 cuts, which is Craig's saying. They dropped it to 1,050,000, still no showings. And then every single time that we weren't getting anything, I'd go back and say, guys, look, this is how many people are looking at it. Nobody's buying. We're 10% too high. We're 10% too high. And I kept hammering that to the point where I think they got a little annoyed at me at that point. But I kept telling them, this is the truth. Are you seeing people in and out of here? No, we're not. So finally I got them to drop it to 995. And 995, I thought, okay, we got a couple of showings. And then we dropped it again to 950. And finally we were getting more showings. And I said, okay, now we're still too high, but we need to start with an 8. That's it. We need to start with an 8. And they weren't real happy with me about that, but
Well, let's go back and we stop. How long?
they own the house for 3 years. 425,000. I sold it to them. Now, wait,
There's another part to that. They tried to sell it 2 years ago.
yes,
They were happy 2 years ago taking 825
yes,
on the market, and it didn't sell at 825.
right.
2 years later, it appreciated $250,000, so we should list it at 1,075,000.
No,
Even
it
after the
didn't.
conversations Jackie had with them, they still decided that's what they wanted to do.
So I showed them numbers after numbers after numbers and charts and charts and charts, and I'm so not analytical, but boy, I was in this one. And I gave them every single solitary number and I told them, your house is gorgeous, but it's not going to sell for this. We need to start at an 8. And we brought it down to 895. And the week we brought it down to 895, I had 3 offers. And I went back to them and I said, well, we have a full price offer, a second full price offer, and the third one is cash, and I don't know what you want. And they ended up taking the one that was the best offer and the best terms. And we actually closed and it appraised and we actually sold it for 885. So I told them 8 and I was right on the money. And at the end of when we closed, they brought me the biggest bottle of champagne I'd seen in a long time. So, and if you think about it, I sold it to them for 4.25. 3 years ago, they actually, 3.5 years ago, I guess now, they put about 100,000 into it. So they had maybe 550 into it. So look at how much money they made in a 3-year period.
But that was a game of starting, agreeing with them, telling them the truth up front. And then death by 1,000 cuts is a tough way to go.
Mhm.
If they had listened to her from the beginning, they might have gotten even 9s.
Probably.
Because how long were you on the market for?
We 6 and we just closed.
So December till, that's 6 months. Right? So this is the new normal that I've been talking about, right? But congratulations to you. And that house closed at 425 a foot,
Yes, it did.
which is a record pace setting. This is a
It's
1970.
the 1974 side, gorgeous inside. It was an Apple 1974. Flood insurance on it is $4,500 a year.
Now, until it gets to,
Buyer, but yeah, so I told them, I said, guys, it's an Apple home and, you know, I love it, but it's an Apple home and you're at this level and sea level. You just, you know, you've got to be aware of that.
yep, 100%. And no pool. That,
I want you guys to think about the face you would make. So they had it listed 2 years ago for $825,000. It didn't sell, didn't have a ton of showings, and it didn't have a ton of offers or anything. It didn't sell. They call you 2 years later and you're like, yes, we're going to finally be able to sell this thing. And you walk in and you go through your presentation and they say, 1,075,000. What face would you make sitting at the table? Just think of that. What face would you make if you had that right there? So, but think about this though. They wanted 825 before. Jackie sold it for basically what they wanted before, with 3 to 5% appreciation for the last 2 years.
what is 5% of 825,000?
It's basically 40 grand.
Right.
So 40 grand is 865 1 year, then 905 the next year. 3% is 25 grand. So 50 grand, 875. So the number is 875 to 905. If it appreciated 3 to 5% over each of the last 2 years, and it didn't sell at 825. So the fact that she was able to sell it at that same appreciation number and it wasn't worth that to the buyers then, she did them a incredible service by doing that. So good job.
And it's my seventh deal with this this family.
Wow,
Seventh deal.
that's super cool.
So yeah, they are very, very loyal, and they're buying another house from me now that they sold this one. So thank you.
Yeah, and they got $400,000 in cash in their pocket, tax free. Right? So this is, my point is, this is the new normal, right? We're gonna have to deal with prior expectations and then bring them back to normal, which is still a win, right? They're still doing well. They're just not doing as well as they wanted to do, which means we have to have hard conversations. Which leads me to Kathleen to talk about the appraisal issue, because you've had a situation recently that you shared yesterday that I wanted you to share with the group. Because this is two, right?
And to Jackie's point, what an awesome return on that investment, right? Real estate is still the best way to make your money. You're not going to get that in the bank. Appraisals, talking about banks, spot on. When you're going to be talking to your appraisers, make sure you show up, but do a little bit more than that. Make sure you have either your paper business card or your electronic business card, the Boopy card, hi, hello, dot. The reason why is you want to make sure if there's an issue or something that comes up, you've got that information to the appraiser where they can talk with you. When you're putting together your comparables, get into a habit. It really does pay off, because I had a very difficult appraisal recently and I got exactly what I wanted by showing up, because the appraiser was from St. Pete. This property is in Sarasota. I'll leave out some of the negative comments that the appraiser had about realtors. I was able to smile and have a poker face and let her know that we're so happy to be here with her and show her the necessary comparables, because she didn't know anything about the market and pretty much said she didn't care. So I just let that go right past me. I'm used to that. And put together a beautiful Moxie work. She loved it. She loved it. Not because it's me, but because it's Moxie Works. And the Moxie Present, I put together this amazing appraisal package for her. She absolutely loved it, to the point where she said, hey, if something comes up down the road, can I reach out to you? Can you get me another one of these? I went from an appraiser who absolutely hated realtors to an appraiser who loved us because we showed our value. So make the extra time, do it. Put in all the features, your feature sheet, when you put together on your listings, you can upload that as a page into your MoxieWork presentation. It's very effective because it's going to list all the things that's been done to the property, the upgrades, the this, the that, all the bells and whistles. You want that in there. Also, let the appraiser know about feedback if it's good. If it's bad, no, we're going to skip that. But if you got really good feedback from potential buyers and people in the neighborhood that come by in your open houses, let them know. And let them know also what that highly desirable factor is about that neighborhood. Why everybody loves this neighborhood, because this particular appraiser didn't know anything about this area, and I was able to point out the schools, IMG Academy, all the different colleges that are nearby, the fine arts, all of that, and it all added up. It all made a difference. And lastly, and I have a little cheat sheet if y'all ever want one, because I put it in my files. I like lists. Let them know about the neighborhood, what's coming, what's developing. What if there's a golf course being built in? Like in Mayaca City, we've got an amazing golf course. It's almost finished over there. New waterworks. I know in Waimama, you've got all kinds of water parks and stuff like that. Let them know. Let them know about the infrastructure, all the positive things that are coming out. It won't be a waste of your time. I can assure you, we closed on this property in 25 days. Show up. It makes a difference. I know it's a pain. And the other thing appraisers like to do is they like to send you a text the day before that they're coming at 8 o'clock. Oh no, you reach back out and say, nope, I'll meet you at such or such time. You don't ask them, you tell them. And if you want some practice with that, give me a shout. I'm real good on negotiating.
Okay, so my point of this whole thing is the new normal is back to the old normal. And some of you, yeah, actually we have to work, right? I never thought about doing a Moxie presentation for an appraiser. What a cool idea, right? To justify your value and make sure that we're still selling houses at record prices, right? And somebody put in the chat, I think it was Mike, that said something about all we do is open doors and get big commission checks. So I want you to remember this on the appraisal management side, right? That industry changed about 3 years ago, right? So appraisal management companies now don't allow appraisers to be picked by the loan officer. So they're randomly selected. So you're going to see appraisers coming from St. Pete to appraise the Sarasota property, and they just don't know. And to Kathleen's point, they resent us because what does an appraiser make doing an appraisal?
If they're lucky, 375 for a report, but they chose that occupation. They can always become realtors. I
If
have,
they're lucky, 375,
yeah,
right? We
Yeah.
make on a sale for a $400,000 house.
Yeah.
A lot more than that, right? So they do kind of resent us a little bit. So the nicer you could be to them, the more important it is.
To Kathleen's point about the appraiser scheduling, if you have a property that's a go and show property set up in showing time that way, as soon as it goes under contract, change it to appointment only. That way they have to request an appointment from you and you can decline or approve it. Because if you leave it go and show, they go into showing time, click the button, automatically approves, and they could approve a showing. If you don't have any time restraints on it, they could show up in 30 minutes and go show that property and do the appraiser, and you missed out if you weren't prepared. So change it from go
Wow.
and show to set an appointment.
Deceptive? No. Strategic. Good word. Had an appraisal from Maryland. Cool. Next slide. All right, my inbox. Let's just jump in. Just start at the top. Zillow market updates. This is okay. Zillow is changing things. Tampa has become an enhanced market now, which what enhanced mean is typically a flex brokerage gets 30% of the leads and market-based pricing gets 70% of the leads. They're changing Tampa to enhanced, which means flex is going to get the majority of the leads. So it's a huge opportunity for us. So I'm playing the vest, close to the vest with Zillow. So I like reading their updates, and this is what their economists are saying. The median price of houses was 417, down 0.9% from a year ago. Is that something to be alarmed about? Not at all. The seasonally adjusted estimate of new houses for sale at the end of May was 481,000, a supply of 9.3 months at the current sales rate. This is up from 8.1 months. So all we're saying is houses are going to stay on the market longer, and that's okay. But National Home Price Index increased 0.3% in April. What's 0.3% times 12? 3.6. Is 3.6 a bad appreciation rate for an investment they only put 20% down on? No, not at all. Right. This is nationwide. This is nationwide. Core inflation is expected to have moderated further over the past month. However, a higher than expected inflation print could undo progress and push rates higher. Right. So this is the new normal that I started out with in the beginning of the slides, right? This is just Zillow saying it. Next slide. Not that one. Mr. Baggins, my brother, you're doing something really cool for all of us. And actually, before you start, we just opened a region in Key West for the Florida Keys. And Tracy's online. She's our new regional president for the Keys. And she just had a sale last week where she sold a Marriott hotel room for $750,000.
It was a few months back.
Okay, a few months back.
Yeah.
$750,000 for a Marriott hotel room. Jeff is selling the Autograph series, and we start in the sixes. Brand new, and this is a resale. So there's your intro, Jeff. This is Tracy, by the way, from the Keys.
Hello,
I love
everyone.
it. I know Tracy. We interviewed her and brought her on board. Great to see you here.
Yep, great to be
All
here.
right. So tonight I sent that team email out, and this is for multiple purposes. Number one, I want you guys to be familiar. And number two, I want you to share it, invite your clients and people to come in. You can go live on Facebook. You can do all kinds of stuff with this, right? But I want you to know that you don't have to know everything about this project. You just have to bring the people to me and I'll sell it. Right. So we have 89 units is the number of units we're going to sell in this whole building before we break ground. And so we're going to push those, and they're the best ones, right? Because that's what people want to buy first. So we've got a list of 89 of them and I've got a list of why they're all the best, and we're ready to go. So long story short is Madeira Beach is growing a lot, and it's turning into a beautiful resort town from a beach town. There's a transition going on. And what we've done is we had this piece of property for a while, and we have it zoned for 161 hotel rooms and 10 beautiful condos. So we went through the whole process as far as what's the best use for the property. And long story short, we decided to brand it, and Marriott came out and site visited, and they're like, this is phenomenal because there's no competition anywhere around. This is the nicest spot on the beaches. because you have no competition. You go, I always joke, if I wanted to go out and get a baller suite for the weekend, drop $1,500, I can go to Clearwater Beach and pick 8 different hotels and go down to St. Pete Beach and at least have a couple, but there's nothing in the middle, right? So we have really no competition from a luxury standpoint and for really nice. So this is a full-on resort, 161 rooms, 2 pools, about 6 different restaurants, 30,000 square foot of retail, and sky bridge right over to the beach. Brand new, beautiful Art Deco, high-end, kind of like a fountain blue design, and it's spectacular. So, and we are selling rooms, and there's 55% of the revenue. So if Mike Johnson bought one, room 542, and every time somebody stays in that room, he's going to get 55% of the revenue that comes from that one, and he can come use it 90 days a year if he wants to. If you're a Tampa drive-to person, this is why South Tampa wants you guys really, really into this as well.
No pressure, Mike.
You can, yeah, I held that one for you, by the way. And but really, they're about 700,000. The cheapest is 701, right? In the whole building. We have several of those. And so it's about 20%, it's 20% down. So for $140,000, you now have a beach house. And then of course we have financing involved from Bank of OZK for preferred lending that actually is going to do 85% loan to value. So it's only 15% down to finance. And you have a place you can come use when you want to, or just keep it in the rental pool. And it's fully managed, totally hands off, and a cool place to be. So people are loving this one. Everybody knows Marriott. The buyers, most of the buyers are already Marriott enthusiasts. They understand the system, the power, and just the level. And then this is an autograph collection, which is in their luxury collection, which is really nice. It's like one step below the Four Seasons and the Ritz and all of that. Right? That's where we are. It's not going to be stuffy. It's going to be beautiful and beachy, and it's going to be nice and upscale. And it's going to be a game changer for the town. So tonight at 6 o'clock in this room that you're in right now, I did it so it's webinar style. So people have anonymity, so people don't want to see their names in the rooms that they're in. So that's why we're doing that. So it's for you to come in and watch, and it's for you to invite your clients to come in and watch. And I'm just going to do an overview of the project. It will be started at 6. We'll be finished at 7, and I'll leave some time for Q&A, and that's enough for you guys. And then once you have interested people, hit me up. We're working on right now just over at the sales center. We've got the floors going in today. I got furniture ordered. It's gonna be a beautiful sales center. It's gonna be staffed 7 days a week with a power team. And it's just gonna be simple for you to just send your clients over and making it work. So tonight at 6 in this room, if you want to learn more about the Beachmaker, come on in. I'll be doing it live.
Well, let me give you guys a tip too. If you go to your website,
Yes.
if you don't mind, go to my website, craigbeggins.info. Right? You guys all have the opportunity to put the projects on there, right? So you go to your website, take that link from that URL, put it into your Facebook and say, hey guys, real cool meeting tonight at 6 o'clock in this room, put our Zoom link in, which is in all your calendars. And that's how you do it, right? So go to craigbeggins.info, go to our projects, Beachmaker, click, and then show the URL. That's it. That's all you gotta do. Copy that, paste it into your Facebook and say, special meeting tonight. Would you like to own a beach house that pays for itself? That's how simple this could be for a $700,000 sale or $1 million sale or $1.5 million or $4 million sale for a penthouse condo where somebody gets a thing. So these are the resources that you have at your disposal that I hope you're taking advantage of.
And one last thing, Craig, in the very beginning, it's highlighted on there. Thanks for pulling that up, Chris. Is the buyer incentives we're doing right now is we're giving a full year of condo fees we're paying. Plus they're getting the furniture package free, right? So we understand you're getting in early and there's got to be incentives for that. So those are the incentives. They're going to go away, right? They're going to go away. So this is the reason to get in early. You're getting the low prices. You're getting the full year condo fees, which is probably about 12 grand or probably $1,000 a month ballpark. And then you're getting the furniture packages, 30, 40 grand, right? So you're getting significant money, about a 40,000
not cheap furniture
package. No, it's autograph collection. You should see the hoops we have to jump through on this one. So that's the incentive to get in early because we know your money's gonna be sitting for 2 years. And so there's the reason to go do that. So there you go. So come in tonight. Even if you're curious, just join in 6 o'clock tonight.
Jeff, a couple questions. Will it be
Yep.
recorded?
Yes.
I will record it. And I'm planning on doing this weekly, by the way, too, because I want to make it friction free for you guys just to send people in and they don't have to live here, guys. Good luck trying to find or South Florida people. Good luck trying to find a brand new Marriott autograph collection at the beach for anything near $700,000, right? So any investors and Kat, your friends up in Maine, right? Those type of people, good luck. So when you share this out there on your social networks, guys, you never know what you're going to get. Send them to me. I'll close them. and just you be the collector of leads.
So yeah, you already have a recording on the PeachMaker website, so there is a video here where Jeff will actually talk through the entire project. So if you want to send this as a recording, send this. You don't have to send any of the recordings that he does tonight. This is geared more to get people online, ask questions, answer them live, give them more of the sales pitch in person to
Yep.
get them at least a reservation or a contract right now, so we can get them to the next step.
And
Also-
commission, it half up front, half at groundbreaking, and half at closing.
That's right. One last thing too is Teresa Green is just joined our sales team and she works with the management company. So she and I are going to next week, we're going to do an interview of all the FAQs about the things I can't talk about and you can't talk about. We'll be able to go through the comp set of what the most comparable resorts are nearby and what their occupancy is and what their average daily rate is. And we're never going to be able to say or tell what room 542 is going to bring in, but the people have to deduce that themselves, right? So, but we're going to give them the data that they can kind of figure it out. And then we're going to talk about that by saying why we believe we're going to be better than all those because of the occupancy drivers, the 250 person wedding venue, 100 room meeting center, in addition to the wedding venue, plus all the shops and the bars and the Skybridge and no competition. So that should push our occupancy up, which will pump up the average daily rate, which will make it 55% better. But it's important. We are not selling an investment here. We are selling real estate. A huge distinction between the two. Nobody can buy this solely on the expectation to make money because that's an SEC violation. We're not licensed to sell securities. We're only licensed to sell real estate. So that is a huge point. And they're always going to ask you a million times. They're going to say, what do you think it's going to bring in tonight? The answer is no idea. Crystal ball's broken. I can't do that. Right? You got to decide you want to buy the real estate and own it. And the management is going to be part of it. There is a marina right across the street, Mike. We actually own that. 44 slips that we're about to rebrand as the Beachmaker Resort Marina. So there's a marina on site that we're going to have commercial boats and sunset cruises and dolphin tours and jet skis and everything is going to be right there for a full-on resort.
Pretty cool. And you guys are on the
Tonight at
ground
6. Come on.
tonight at 6. Good job, brother. I just want to put this up. John, you sent this out over the weekend. When you go above and beyond and your customer takes a private note to send the brokerage a message that you did a great job, it's pretty cool. So high five. Moving from Maryland to Florida and trying to find the perfect location and home seemed to be an impossible task to do on our own. This is once again my attempt to tell you guys you are providing incredible value and we deserve everything we charge, right? So we got to stand up for ourselves. Then I was informed by Navy Federal Credit Union of my Realty Plus program. Realty Plus program was a godsend in finding our dream home. So shout out to Ashley, right? Our coordinator, Bonnie, was exceptional at finding me multiple realtors in different locations of my interest. Eventually, we found the perfect home in an area we did not expect to look at while working with John. So John, you didn't just sell a house, you sold a neighborhood. You sold a community and a town and a lifestyle. John's professionalism, knowledge, negotiation skills, and customer service was above and beyond any comparison we've experienced in the past. Congratulations. John had been extraordinary during the whole, look at these words, extraordinary during the whole process from finding the perfect home and coordinating with other realtors to sitting down with us, the title company, to sign on the dotted line. John Evans was instrumental in coordinating with the property inspector, estimator, property surveyor, and even assisted with the finance broker, home insurance company, and the title insurance company on requirements and documentations needed. This is the stuff you guys do to make a difference, right? It's not just we open doors like the public thinks. John explains the, thank you. Chris has got my back. John explained the entire process from beginning to end. He provided updates throughout the whole process, answered our questions any time of the day. We had contacted him with a positive attitude and certainty and enthusiasm. John also kept us apprised of changes in the timelines throughout the whole process and made this process seem effortless as he diligently worked to make this an extremely smooth, transparent, and expedited experience. We want to thank John for our deepest gratitude for appreciation for all the hard work he had accomplished with working with an abundance of other entities in a short period of time to get us our absolute forever dream home. You are amazing. Didn't that? Yeah, you got the chills go on, right? That makes a difference, right? Did you guys see that? Oh, I'm so proud. Awesome. Good job. Okay. Oh, thank you. John says, we do follow our systems. right? And that's what you all have access to. So do that. The raffle video. So we did a raffle for the convention coming up, which is next week, right? And Jimmy put this little video together for us. Oh, you got to download. Sorry, won't take long. This is just kind of cute. It's like 30 seconds. Look how many agents we have. First winner is Trisha White from South Tampa. Second winner is Ivy Nedley from Sarasota. And the third winner is Carlos Pinzon from Miami. So those three agents won a $499 pass or a reimbursement because they were actually, two of them were already going. And then one's going to go that was going to go before, which is super cool. So that was done. And Sammy told me, I think it's on my slideshow. There were, maybe it's next slide. There were 1,486 listings and contracts turned in between April and June. This is not like a small organization anymore. 1,486 listings and contracts were turned in from April to June. That's like 6,000 a year tracking. And some are going to expire, some are not going to close, but you know, all that stuff. That's a lot of business going back and forth. So super cool. Back to my inbox if you don't mind. Just hit the last couple ones. It's real life real estate's a super cool thing. I like doing it. The broker briefings. If you missed any of the stuff, you guys are all tuning in, so we don't need to see it, but it's in your inbox. Setting up neighborhood news is a big deal. As we start showing up more, we got to do more, right? So if you're not into this stuff, and back to my slideshow, if you don't mind, the back one page. How competent are you at these? I asked this question last week, and somebody looked at me and said, we're not. So OfferPad and Open Door are huge opportunities for us. That's the Mark Spain of real estate. Zillow Showcase Plus is designed to help you do some amazing things. And I committed a big project on that. The Beachmaker and our projects tab are super big. If you're not into that, you need to get into that. And then Moxie is huge. The winners that won the contest, every time you did something, you got a ticket. And Jimmy had some software program, of course, that did it. And most people that won on Moxie because they were sending out Moxie presentations left and right, Moxie listing presentations, Moxie buyer presentations, Moxie pricing presentations. They're all there and they're all for the taking. And you've got a database in your phone that we need to download and get out. I think we're almost done. Oh, yeah, hit that one real quick. So Zillow has put together, download that if you would. They're going to print these books for us and send them to us. And it's designed to make you stand out better than everybody else. So it's like a handout when you're on a listing presentation. Now we're going to put that in your Moxie presentation as well. You can take out the pages if you don't want it, but it's showing, go back to the top, read some of these slides. 20% showcase listings are almost 20% more likely to be pending in 14 days. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, 100%. The question is, if you do the paid at close option, because you don't want to spend the $400 up front, right? I committed to. Yeah, we have a cancellation policy in our contract. If they fire you, we have a $2,000 cancellation penalty. Yeah, we'll definitely take that back. There's that. But anyway, the stats are 20% more likely to go pending in 14 days. Showcase listings sell for 2% more. That's over $9,000. Right? Cool. Next one. Number one residential real estate app. Of course, Zillow has all the eyeballs. We know that. 3 times more daily active users than any other category, and 217 million average monthly users. This is like when you're on a listing presentation, you deliver this and say, by the way, we are still the only brokerage in town that has the exclusive right to this right now. Nobody else has it. They haven't sold another territory. 81% more page views, 75% more saves, 79% more shares. What that means is if the house isn't selling, It's not your marketing, it's the price, right? To Jackie's point, death by 1,000 cuts. We got to get there at some point. This is going to help you, give you evidence or proof that you what you need to do. And then the 3D floor plans and all that shit is super cool, right? So when a seller sees this and you can offer it at a discount compared to what other brokers pay, remember, if you're not part of this company, you've got to pay 400, 500, 600, 700, $1,000 and sign a contract to commit to buying one every month for 6 months. And you don't have to do that with us. And we go, and that's the winners. Birthdays this week, Cheryl Crawford from Madeira Beach. Happy birthday yesterday. Michael Reichenbach, happy birthday yesterday. Daryl Herbert from today from Apollo Beach. Adam Kuchmeyer is tomorrow from South Tampa. Carla Lassar from Sarasota will be on the 3rd. Mark Harmon. And yours truly will be on July 7th. I'll be 35 again. There you go. Just a call out of the long-termers. Bob Pasquarello, 2003, it's 21 years. That's a long time. That doesn't happen in a lot of cool places. So Bob, thank you for your patronage for all this time. Mikey Rockback for 22 years. Dick Wilson, 25 to what is that? Dick Wilson, 19 years. That's a long time, right? So I'm not going to go through all these names, but it's just kind of neat to see the company be around for so long and have such long term. We celebrated Aisa's 30th year last month. That's just crazy stuff. And then we'll go back to things. You know, my speech on the Ruby level, and we'll break off into individual office meetings. I'm over time. Sorry.